Well, Jeff Da Costa is a climate scientist at Reading University in the UK.
There's no denying climate change is there. We're living in a climate change era. We've been living in it for a while now, and the predictions and forecasts were true. So events like these are becoming more severe and more intense and more frequent. But I would argue that the focus at the moment should be on what went wrong. Why did so many people die? Why did the alerts did not reach the people in time? These are questions that really need answering.
Well, let's talk about that. As you say, this was forecast. Somehow the alerts, the messages did not get through. How does that happen?
In this specific case, the Spanish Meteorological Agency issued warnings ahead of time. So days before, they already mentioned that a severe weather phenomenon was about to happen in this week. And the warnings, they scaled up from yellow to orange to finally red in the morning of the floods. And communication was done by the government agency, but they do not have the capacity or the authority to order evacuations or to order people to stay at home, to close schools, close roads. Things like that fall into the responsibility of local decision makers and civil protection. So it's worthwhile mentioning that although many, many things went wrong and a horrible amount of casualties in this event, the forecast was actually there and was reliable.
This is a tragedy. It's worth us saying, though, that this area was previously affected, was it not, by significant flooding 30 years ago?
Yes, so it's a recurring weather event. So they call it Dana in Spain, but what it really is a cold front. To put it simply, it's a cold front that moves within a larger warm front, and when that cold front meets the warm Mediterranean Sea and surface temperatures, the atmosphere is loaded with energy, and a lot of rain falls in a short amount, in a prolonged period of time over a very small geographical area, and that leads to floods like we've seen now. So this has been recurring regularly, but in different kinds of severities, not to this scale. And as you mentioned, 30 years ago, there was a flood as well. There were also other floods before that. But it's important to not mix climate change and climate variability. Although this has happened before, scale and the magnitude is different. Spain 30 years ago or 50 years ago is not the same as it is today. So if you look at an area where previously there were just fields and farmers, the impacts are going to be less than the impacts today in the urbanized area.